Hello and welcome to this Luxury Living podcast from Bravas. In these podcasts, we try and talk about things that are important to homeowners or people working with homeowners, trying to get the best of the luxury home and the best way to use technology in their luxury home. If this is the first time you've come to our podcast, or if you're liking these, please do the like, the share, the comment. Please let people know on the website that you got from this podcast from what you think, or share the link with your family and friends. Everybody needs to hear this content, and it would really help us if you could help share that. So with that, let me introduce Keith. Hello, Keith. How are you?
I'm good, Nigel. How are you doing?
Good. So we're going to do a very sort of different subject for us this time, and go down into the bowels of some of the stuff that makes your home smart. But I think this stuff is still important to our clients, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. It's very structural. It's not along the periphery of some of the stuff that we typically do. And this is a very, very crucial piece of the house.
Good. Well, let me introduce Jessica Weiss. Hello, Jessica.
Hello.
Jessica is the National Business Development Manager for Energy Automation and AI for Sonnen. That's a good title, Jessica. So, Jessica, why don't we kick this off a bit? You tell us a bit about yourself and how you got to where you are at Sonnen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here today. So again, my name is Jessica, and I actually got my start in the industry several years ago with Lutron Electronics, where I spent about 4.5 years marketing their high-end residential solutions and systems there. And during that 4.5 years, I really came to fall in love with home technology and the whole channel. But with that, I also had a tremendous passion for renewable energy, for helping the planet. And that's really what brought me to Sonnen back in December 2017 when I joined the Sonnen team. And really, ever since then, I've just been trying to merge these two industries, clean tech with high tech, to really bring resiliency and energy automation to homeowners like yourself.
So tell me, who is Sonnen? May be new to some of the people that listen to our podcast. We know how you got there, but who are you now you're there?
Absolutely. So Sonnen is an intelligent energy storage company, or battery storage, as a lot of folks sometimes refer to it. And we have actually been in the industry for about 10 years now. Our roots go back to Germany, where we got our start in 2010. And ever since then, we've really been manufacturing solutions that really work with the grid, intelligent energy storage solutions that really help people store energy, whether it be clean energy from the sun or even utility energy, and really use that energy when it's needed most, whether that's when the sun goes down, whether there's a power outage, whether there's something called a peak period. We really make energy accessible to homeowners at all times of the day and night.
So we're here at the beginning of 2021. I think we're all happy to see the back of 2020. I wonder whether, what 2020 looked like for you because of COVID and people working from home. Did that change your business? What did the year teach you guys?
It's a great question. We learned a lot from this year, and I would say just in general, COVID really has made people a lot more aware of the need for access to power, for reliable power, for consistent power. And that's because a lot of us are home now, right? We are working from home. Our livelihoods depend on our power and access to it. We're educating our children via virtual schooling. We're connecting with our friends and families, right? How many Zoom Thanksgivings do you know of? Heck, I've even been to a Zoom or virtual wedding, right? And really having access to power to be able to reliably, again, and consistently make sure that all of those parts of our lives stay up and running at all times is really, really critical. So we're finding homeowners are aware now more than ever because we're so home so often. And then we've also had, aside from COVID, a lot of natural disasters, right? That's on the rise. Things like hurricanes and horrific storms that are literally taking our utility grid down. Things like fires that are happening all over the country, especially in Utah, Northern California, right, where we're now having forced power shutdowns. people are realizing they don't want to have to rely solely on the utility grid for their power. They want their lives to go on. They want to keep educating their kids and working from home and connecting with their families. And they don't want to completely 100% rely on the utility grid. They want to take energy into their own hands. They want to use it when they want, on what they want in the home. And that's really, I would say, where energy storage comes into the mix. Because again, we're able to store energy and really use it if there's a power outage or if there's a peak period coming your way, or simply if people want to live more eco-forward. We're finding that too. And energy storage really allows you to do that.
So when you say energy storage, let's make sure we all mean the same thing. What does that mean to you? What is energy storage?
That's a great question, Nigel. Energy storage is when you take excess energy, either generated from the sun. Let's say you have solar modules on your roof and they're generating power and energy. We're able to charge and store that energy that's left over from those solar modules. We can also charge and store energy from the utility grid, and basically then take that energy, store it in our safe, long-lasting battery, and then use it for use later. An example would be when the sun goes down, right? Because your solar modules aren't producing solar, but you can still power your home off of clean solar energy at night now, or even during power outages. Right, having access again to that power if there's a transformer that blows or if there's a storm that takes down the utility grid or whatever it may be. That's really what storage is, taking excess energy and storing it for use when it's really needed most.
So are there some states in the US that this is a bigger conversation than others? I mean, I'm guessing this is probably different by state, isn't it?
Absolutely. There certainly are states where energy storage is more prevalent than others. We have really hot markets like California, Arizona. And that's because a lot of the times we're pairing our battery storage system with solar to really maximize that clean energy usage. But really, no matter where you're at in the country, there's always a need for this solution. Everyone has gone through a power outage. I'm sure everyone has experienced power problems or power quality problems, right? We've all been through that. We can all think of a time that we've experienced that. So regardless of where you live, I would say this is a solution, and for really anyone, anywhere, no matter where you're located.
So one of the things in Texas, we have a lot of generators. Kind of compare, contrast how Sonnen and that energy storage solution would compare to a generator. What are the pros and cons?
That's a wonderful question. And the great news about Sonnen specifically is that we work with or without a generator. So let's start with a generator. We do have some folks that pair a generator with the Sonnen system, especially if there is no solar on the project. And basically that's used as a backup to the backup. Think of it like this. Once your battery depletes or discharges to a certain level, it can automatically start up your generator to charge up your battery until you reach a certain threshold and then turn that generator off. So it's like a backup to a backup. We see that. If you're looking at considering energy storage in lieu of a generator, there certainly are a lot of benefits there. First of all, energy storage is traditionally a lot more of a cleaner, more eco-friendly, eco-forward solution. That's again because you're using things like typically energy from the sun that you're storing and using to power your home versus gas that a lot of generators use. Energy storage is also going to be a lot, in most cases, much more of a quiet solution, right? We've all heard generators running. They can be loud. They can be noisy. They can also require maintenance depending on the type of generator. With Sonnen and energy storage, it's maintenance free. It's quiet. It's set it, forget it. Automatically going to work without that maintenance and hassle behind it. And then I would also say with energy storage, especially when you look at pairing it with an automation platform, it can really yield what we call energy automation. And that means being able to really dynamically select what you want to use that battery power for in your home. And someone might ask, why is that important? Why does that matter? Well, think of it this way. Every power outage that you experience is likely going to be different from one to the next. Some outages might be very short and they might not last a long time. Other outages might be a day or more. And depending on that situation, you might choose to use your power a little bit differently. If it's a short outage, heck, let's go power a lot of things in the home, because we don't need that battery storage system to last. We don't need the battery power to last very long. But if I know that it's going to be an extended outage, if I'm going to be out for 8 hours or more, I might really want to pare back what I'm using that battery to power. I might want to turn off some lights or shed some loads. With energy, what we call energy automation, taking intelligent energy storage, bringing it into the automation platform, you can give homeowners, just like you, the ability to pick and choose. During this power outage, I want to keep these loads on, and during the next power outage, I want to turn those loads on or keep them, turn them on or off. With a generator, typically whatever you decide to power, whatever decision you make, you're locked into that. You don't get that flexibility. But with energy storage, again, when you bring it into that automation platforms, you bring controllable breakers into the solution. You really can pick and choose and give your homeowners that dynamic ability that they're looking for.
Yeah, we have a client right now that we're actually looking at a Sonnen system for, and they have solar panels, and so they would be pairing those together. But that was the exact problem they had, which was they had just gone through. We had a tornado in Dallas. They had a very, very long power outage, more than a week, and that experience led them to believe that they were not going to own a house without the ability to control their power a little bit more than they had. And they didn't want a generator because of both the noise and the environmental impact. So we have seen clients now that Sonnen is a perfect solution for. I guess my biggest question, and the one I get the most, so maybe you'd be helping me sell the product directly, but I guess it's not necessarily a great long-term solution in the way a generator is, without either a generator as backup or solar panels as a backup. But for someone who still wants the benefits of Sonnen, like what are the benefits day to day when there's not a power outage? What kind of benefits would they be seeing just as owners of a system like this?
That's a great question. First and foremost, it really helps you live a more eco-forward, eco-friendly lifestyle by using energy storage, especially when you're pairing it with a clean renewable source like solar. You're able to reduce your carbon footprint, live more cleanly. So that's certainly a perk there. And not to mention, especially when you're bringing energy storage into your home and having it work alongside other smart home technologies that you have in the home, by working alongside other things that can have an impact on your energy. Think of things like your HVAC, your lighting, your smart thermostats, your electrical vehicle chargers, right? All of those things impact energy. So now by bringing Sonnen and energy storage into that mix, they all can work together to really truly and automatically manage how you use energy in the home. They can maximize your energy. They can help you reduce the energy that you're needing and do all of this without really impacting your lifestyle or maybe not even having you notice at all. So the benefit there is tremendous. From you live eco-forward, certainly have what we call energy independence, right? If that power outage does strike, you're ready and prepared. And now you also have this way to really manage how you use energy in the home, day, night, no matter what time it is.
Now, I know that Tesla's been trying to sell its battery system, particularly to the car owners. Is there a big difference? I mean, there doesn't have to be a big difference. Is there a big difference for what you're doing and they're doing?
It's a great question. So Tesla is another energy storage solution, and it certainly has a lot of brand recognition around it. There are certainly key differences between a Sonnen solution and a Tesla. One of several of them is we certainly have a different chemistry, what our batteries are made of. We use something called lithium iron phosphate, it's a type of chemistry, and that is going to be different than Tesla. And because of that chemistry, it makes it the safest and longest lasting solution that you're going to have out there, as opposed to someone like a Tesla or other brands out there. They also use a different lithium ion battery technology, but it's not quite as safe. They typically use something called nickel manganese cobalt, which certainly, again, is not as safe. It can have what's called thermal runaway, which can cause some challenges there. Nobody wants that in their home. And then also you're looking at longevity, right? Because of that chemistry, because of what we're made of, we're able to last 8 to 13 times longer than other solutions, for example, like a Tesla, because we're meant to cycle every day. We're meant to charge and discharge continuously. We're built for the home versus other purposes.
So one thing I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if I went to Europe and a lot of cities in Europe, I would see Sonnen devices like just in people's living rooms. I mean, just inside the home. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we are very well known in Germany, and in Europe, as I mentioned. We got our start in Germany 10 years ago, and we're a very big name over there. They have what's called Sonnen communities, where you have clusters of homes, thousands of homes, each having a Sonnen battery and working together to help the grid and to share energy among each other. So over there, we're very, very big. We got our start here in the U.S. about 2015, late 2015. So we're not quite as big over here yet, but we are also starting to implement what's called virtual power plants, where we have communities with thousands of homes. Each has a Sonnen, and believe it or not, they are in the living room. We have a community in Utah where there's 600 apartments, and each one has a Sonnen in it. So it is becoming more widely popular for sure here, and it's because of our chemistry, of our technology, that we have utility companies and developers and builders that are really reaching out to work with us because they know we're quality, we're long lasting, we have a great warranty behind us, and just a great foundation in history.
Well, as an ex-Brit, I'm always very suspicious that anything they do in continental Europe. So I'd be very suspicious of any of that. But I'm interested to think, where do you think a US homeowner should start? What is something in the living room the right place to start? Is it something for the whole house? If someone said, I like the sound of this, where would you tell them to start?
That's a great question. So I would definitely say do your research. You can certainly, I highly recommend everyone reach out to us directly. We have a fabulous team here at Sonnen, and we help you through all of those questions. And we really walk you through helping you determine the best solution for your home. And then we have a network of trade partners that we can connect you with that can also help you through that process. So I would say do your research first on energy storage, and do your research on all the brands. I highly encourage it. And the things you want to really look at when you're investigating, look for battery chemistry. It's really, really important that you know what you're putting in your home, what the chemistry of that is. Look at things like warranty. What is the warranty of that product? Sonnen, we have the longest warranty in the entire residential storage industry. We stand behind our products. We know they're going to work and last a very long time. So these are the things you want to look at. You want to look at their history, their roots, right? How do they get started in the industry? Are they a fly-by-night company that you've never heard of? Or do they have experience behind them? Do they have real projects behind them? So I definitely think do your research and reach out directly, and we can certainly help you through that and get you connected with partners as well.
So I want to go back to the virtual power plants, because that seems like a pretty killer app. I mean, I think right now we're all wearing face masks because it's the right thing to do. It helps everyone. This kind of feels like something that may be the energy version of that in the future, right? Is it just, I mean, how are they using that in Germany, and how will that translate here?
That's a great question. So we'll start with here in the United States. As I mentioned, we are bringing this technology to the United States. We have a couple communities. If you have a chance, again, in your research, look up something called Soleil Loss. That's a great example. But really, this is the trend. This is the energy future. It has to be, right? And we're truly believing, and we believe in my heart of hearts, and I have partners that tell me this, energy storage is the next refrigerator, is the next microwave of your home. Every single home will have one day, because it really contributes to helping stabilize the grid, helping decarbonize and reduce carbon footprint, all of these things that we need. So virtual power plants are a natural next step, where now you have thousands of batteries working together to help stabilize the utility grid, to help provide their homeowners with resiliency. And truly, this is going to be energy storage. Behind the meter energy storage is going to be the power plant of the future, right? We have one of our communities in Arizona that's going to completely replace the need for a power plant, because you have all of these batteries working together and really helping to stabilize the grid when it's needed. And then, of course, providing energy independence, like we talked about, that eco-forward lifestyle for the residents and homeowners. It's a win-win for everybody. It's here to stay. And I highly recommend that you look into this for your own home or your own projects, because energy storage isn't going anywhere for sure, and you're going to continue just to hear more about it.
So one of the things you mentioned earlier was connection to the automation platform. So clearly, most of the people who come to Bravas for this sort of technology are going to say, well, how does this connect to my home automation platforms? Can you talk a bit about what the message is for them and how that works?
Absolutely. So very easily, Sonnen directly communicates with automation platforms over the home network. So you can pull it into your automation platform just like you do many other devices. Today, we work and communicate directly with systems such as Control4, as Savant, and a platform called Adapt Energy. If you have a Crestron system, we also can connect with Crestron via that Adapt Energy platform. So it's very easy for you to pull this technology and have it work alongside everything else that you're putting in the home. And again, the impact that it can have working together with those other items that impact energy is priceless, right? And can really impact that. So it's very easy to do. And again, we do have a wealth of resources here at Sonnen that really can help you through that process, that first project, that first time. We really pride ourselves in 360 support to help you through that.
So tell me if I've been misled on this, but another thing that I heard Sonnen can do, and I guess I've seen, is like, let's say we were using the batteries to power the house, but then a storm was coming in, it would that could be programmed to just go ahead and automatically charge the batteries, so that should the power go out in a time when it would be more likely to, it would be fully charged. Is that true?
Absolutely, that is 100% true.
So cool.
So isn't that so neat? That's the power of having a smart battery. You don't just have a dumb battery sitting there, and that's also a big differentiator for Sonnen. When you look at other solutions, they're not integrating directly with your automation platforms. And by doing this, by this integration between these home technologies, these systems can monitor the weather, like you said. And let's say there's a terrible storm coming your way. And let's say that storm might cause a power outage. What better way than to prepare the home? And what does that mean? That means your automation platform can work with your Sonnen to charge your battery up to 100%, so that if that outage occurs, you're charged and ready and waiting with full capacity. But also other things can happen in the home to get you ready for that storm, right? Things like pre-cooling the home. Let's say it's the dead middle of the summer. It's a really hot day in the afternoon. It's 90 degrees. Well, if there's a storm coming, and if that storm could cause a power outage, you for sure want to have your battery charged up. But you also want to maybe use your utility grid power while it's still available. That thermostat down a couple of degrees. Let's get that home nice and cool and comfortable ahead of the storm. So that power outage hits, you're now not wasting your battery power on your HVAC or keeping your home cool, because you did that earlier in the day. And all of these things can happen automatically without you having to think about it or touch it or worry about it. And most importantly, without impacting your lifestyle, right? So it's a really cool and beautiful thing. And all this is automated. And then when that power outage strikes, it's going to put your home in a backup mode. It's going to turn on and off certain loads or devices in your home automatically. But then you as the homeowner have the ability, like I mentioned, to dynamically turn those items on and off at the breaker level. What does that mean? That means, hey, normally I might not use my battery to power my hot water heater, because that could just be a waste if you're not going to use it. But let's say it's date night and I totally forgot that I have to go get ready. Well, with this combined solution, now you can open up your phone, turn on a breaker, turn on the hot water heater breaker, go take your hot shower, turn it off when you're done, and keep on conserving energy so you can use that battery power on other things. It's a beautiful thing, and up until now, homeowners really didn't have that dynamic ability to flexibly control that power.
So theoretically, in a market like Dallas, where solar still hasn't really got a strong foothold, could somebody have a generator that was powering their HVAC, climate control system, their hot water heater, and then have Sonnen to kind of more intelligently handle everything else?
Absolutely, and we recommend that. We're very upfront with folks when we speak with them. One Sonnen system is not typically going to power your entire home, especially big loads or devices like HVAC. They tend to use a lot of energy. So we recommend, hey, now you just use a smaller generator, if that's the case, if it's really important that you keep that up and running. Put your HVAC on that generator and put your Sonnen on most other things. Put them on your essentials. Put them on your sensitive electronics and things that are most important to you. So absolutely, that's a great example of how we can work with the generator alongside it. And it works very well. And I will also say, you mentioned Texas is not a huge solar market. I live in Pennsylvania. It's not a huge solar market yet here either. I live with a Sonnen in my home, and I can say I charge off of the utility grid, and I'm ready for outages when they happen. And there is no better feeling in the entire world knowing, hey, there's a power outage. I'm not home right now. I received a notification saying you're without power. Coming home an hour later, still not having power, and turning your corner in your neighborhood, and you are the only home in the whole entire neighborhood with your lights on. This is a true experience. Just lived it the other week, but that is the power of really having this system and living with it in your home.
So
it's a wonderful thing. And you don't need solar all the time. We highly, highly recommend it because it's the most clean, renewable way. And it keeps your batteries charged in an outage. It extends how long that battery lasts. But it's not always required, especially in markets like Texas that might not be the hugest solar market yet, which, by the way, is certainly on the rise there in your neck of the woods.
Are you getting any interest from designers or architects looking to build modern luxury homes? Is this something they've started to come and ask you questions about?
Absolutely, especially this year. Again, coming back to COVID, coming back to awareness, coming back to homeowners no longer wanting to completely rely on the utility grid and take matters and energy into their own hands. We are getting a lot of outreach from the architect designer community, and really it does a lot of things. It helps them differentiate their projects and designs. Not a lot of trades folks are offering this yet today, and it allows them to give their homeowners something that they might not have been able to offer before. The peace of mind, the resiliency, the secure energy security. So we are seeing that outreach from that perspective. And then we also are seeing they're reaching out because it helps with residential energy standards. By adding energy storage to your projects, that can help you achieve LEED certification, net zero certification, and some of those other residential energy standards that are out there. So absolutely. And if you are an architect or designer, I highly recommend do your research on this category. Again, it's here to stay. It's only going to grow. And this is just a great way for you to become an expert now and be that go-to in your market with something that's different and something that you can really bring to the table that's unique that might not have been done before.
Well, listen, I think this was great and a great introduction to the subject. And I know that while people will reach out to you, they're very welcome to reach out to us as well at Bravas. And we're happy to help connect you. Before we let you go, Jessica, we sort of play this 3-question game. I think the first question may be redundant to you, but let's quick sort of fire question and answer. The question one is, what piece of home technology do you think you couldn't live without? I wonder what you're going to say that is.
Well, you probably guessed correct. For sure, I would say my Sonnen energy storage system. It has saved me several times this year. And just back, like I said, that story, coming home and being the only one with your lights on, or also another anecdotal, real story is sitting here in your home and not even realizing there's a power outage because it gets so fast. You're on battery power faster than you can blink an eye. So that definitely takes the cake. I would say closely followed by voice control, being able to manage shopping lists and being able to turn your lighting control system on via voice control is certainly the one.
So you're a voice control power user.
I sure am.
Okay.
Guilty as charged.
Is there a project that you've been involved in your career? Is there a sort of a scenario you got and you went, wow, that was amazing, that you think back on it and go, that really was an amazing project? What's your wow job, do you think?
Oh, goodness. There's several wows. I would say there's one particular one that comes to mind is we had a project in California, and the homeowner was very excited about being eco-forward, and resiliency was very critical and key to the homeowner. So there was actually a project with 6 of our EcoLinks units in conjunction with the Adapt Energy panel, that Adapt Energy platform I mentioned. I would say that's probably the coolest and biggest project we've had to date or among them. And just to be able to experience the homeowner's reaction and hear about the reaction of having the integrator cut the power for the very first time and not having the homeowner notice, nothing like it in the entire world.
Well, and then finally, if there's a piece of technology that has yet to be invented, or is there you could wave your magic wand, what piece of technology would you like someone to invent for you?
Oh, like someone to invent. Let's see. So that's a really hard question. I have been really investigating lately, again, wellness, making your home comfortable. There's smart beds out there now. So I would say while the invention exists, I would like to see the technology continue to evolve for something like a smart bed, right? Sleep is the most important part of my day. I don't know about yours, but it really fuels your productivity and your moods and your emotions and how you feel the next day. So I'd like to see that smart bed technology really continue to evolve, really be able to increase the AI with that and help you get the best night's rest you can. I just think it's a really cool concept and really excited to see where that goes.
That sounds better than the smart rug we heard about a few weeks ago.
Exactly. Well, listen, Jessica, thank you very much for joining us. That was great. We look forward to seeing whether working with you, we can get some great clean energy solutions into our clients. And thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you both for having me. It was a pleasure being here today.